And here we go. We are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Regina. I have Jennifer Jakobson with me today. You are going to love this conversation. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing this morning?
Hi, I'm doing fabulous. How are you, Regina?
I am awesome. Let me tell you all a little bit about Jennifer and why I think she's so cool. Jennifer is a certified life and business mindset coach. We know how much I love the mindset thing, right? And she's also a licensed therapist. So she helps coaches ditch the doubt in their businesses and life so they can show up with confidence and authenticity that attracts paying clients over and over again. And she does this using her signature program called Clarity to Cash. And her clients call her the business therapist, and she helps them get out of their head so that they can actually solve the problems in their business. How cool is that? I am so excited to have you here today. Jennifer, let's start our chat. I mean, in today's world, we talk about how, how crazy business is. And as business owners, we spend so much time in the muck and mire of our business.
Very true.
Unless we've got that mindset and the right mindset. Why is mindset so important for business?
Mindset is important for everything. But yes, definitely business. I think if you're in the right mindset, and that could mean so many different things to so many people, you show up differently. I talk about clarity to confidence as well, or confidence to clients, because if you are in the right mindset, you feel confident, you are authentically you, and you show up in your power. You show up in your authority, and that is obviously crucial. If people feel any sort of doubt or fear in you, they're not going to buy from you. People buy trust, they buy safety, and if you're not giving them that feeling that you've got them, that you're going to get them the result they're looking for, they're not going to trust you. And so the way to get there, the way to get to that confident feeling that is so magnetic to your dream clients, is by working on your mindset, right? Working on any blocks that are in the way and overcoming those, getting rid of the imposter syndrome, the perfectionism, the any of the limiting beliefs or fears and doubts that are in your brain, which our brains are going to doubt, our brains are going to be afraid. That's what our brains do. But we have to get over that in order to really be able to come across with that certainty. And that's just what people trust. If you're really confident, that's where they're going to feel really comfortable to buy from you.
Right. And so you packed a whole bunch right in there, and that was awesome. And I heard lots of things. So first off, let me ask this question. Based on what you have seen, what would you say is the biggest mindset challenge that business owners have? Is it the imposter, the I'm not worthy, the what, is there one that stands out above the rest?
It's everyone has their own variety, right? It's hard to pinpoint like what is the most common. I see all of them, and then I see combinations of all of them, right? Like, for example, if you are a perfectionist, you're likely procrastinating a lot. And so what that stems from usually is this feeling of not being good enough, or whatever I put out isn't going to be good enough. But to answer your question, I honestly, one of the things I see so often, which I think is, it's just, it's kind of disappointing in a way, is that people have this extreme fear of selling or feeling salesy, feeling like people are going to think that they're salesy. And it really, I guess it disappoints me, because it's due to our society, like, giving us this notion that like selling is gross and icky and there's something wrong with it. And yet like we buy things constantly all the time and we love it. We love to buy things. So it's yeah, but it's so common. Like the one of the biggest things I hear is like I really want to like make an impact on this person's life. I want to help them. I want to, sign them up for my program because I know it's going to like change their life, but I don't want to be salesy, but I don't want to come across as pushy or spammy, right? So that's a huge one.
Yeah, I was actually just writing about this. I'm
Okay.
working on a book right now, and I was actually just this literally just came up in my book chapter that I was working on, and it was about the two different types of marketing. There's the push marketing and the pull marketing. And the
Mm,
push marketing is all of that, sleazy car salesman
yeah,
type
yeah,
of in your face. I'm not gonna let you out of my sight until you buy something from me, kind
right.
of thing. Which, I think when we talk about like even negative and positive, negative always seems to overshine the positive just
Mhm.
because of the way it is and the way our brains work. And I think it's the same when it comes to sales. It's that pushy stuff overrides the, hey, I've got this value based stuff and I'm just making an offer, and it's the pull. It's the, hey, I'm just going to give you some stuff, and if you want to work with me, great. If you don't want to work with me, great. It's
Right.
it's okay either way. That
Yeah.
pull, where it's like you pull the right people into
Yes.
you.
Yes.
But that push thing seems to overshadow it. So we always like snap back instantly. I was chatting with somebody the other day, and we were talking about chatbots, and doing
Mhm.
messages, right?
Yeah.
So we all get those messages on LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff like that. Hey, I'm so and so, and I see you're a
Yes.
coach, and da 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 da. And I mean,
Yes.
instantly the radar goes up, and it's like, all right, what are they selling? It's
Yeah.
like, and I have literally responded back to some of them that, they had a great little opener, but it was clearly they're looking for something. And I'll
Yeah.
type back and say, so what is it that you would like me to take a look at?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I've had the same urge to be like, is this strategy really working for you in your business? Because I can tell you some better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that mindset comes in
Yeah.
of
It does.
we just assume that other people are pushy, and then we're like, well, we don't want to be that person. How do
Mm,
we
right.
not be that person? So when you talk
Yeah.
about what you do, you get the mindset and then you wrap the business around it. I do a very similar
Yeah.
for I think we have a little bit different audiences. And it's the way that works. It's like the mindset, it wraps right in there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the funny thing is I actually did a post about this a few weeks ago and I said, the surefire way to know whether you're being salesy or not is if you're worried about being salesy, you're not being salesy, right? Like the salesperson types, they're not worried about it. They're not afraid of how they're coming across at all. They're just doing what they do because that's how they do sales. But I love your two different, ways of explaining it. And no one wants to be pushed, right? Like no one, and it goes back to what I was saying before about feeling, people need to feel safe. And if they're feeling pushed, they're not going to sign with you. And if they do sign with you, they're not going to get the results because they're used to being pushed, and it's going to be like it's not going to be a good relationship for coaching anyway, right? If you're a coach and you're trying to sign someone and you're pushing them into that decision, it's just starting out bad from the get-go.
Yeah, yeah, and you said something there about, the pushy type of salespeople.
Yeah,
That's just what they do.
yeah.
And you mentioned confidence earlier. They
Mhm.
are very confident in the push.
Hmm.
So why do you think we're not quite so confident in the pull?
Ooh, such a good question. I think we're not confident because we have doubts, right? And again, I'm going to say it's probably very different for everyone. Like there's a fear, maybe a doubt that I can really help this person. There's a doubt that I don't know, like in your sales call, like maybe there's a doubt that you're going to be able to to really explain things in a clear way, right? And a lot of times people aren't clear. A lot of times the doubt comes from not being clear. And that's why in my program, I teach you how to be really clear first. Because as soon as you're clear on who your person is, what your program is, what your prices are, what your system is, all of those things, you automatically feel more confident. And you just have this sense of, yeah, it's just a sense of like authority. Like, I know I can help. And I think a lot of the doubt comes from, just not feeling confident that they can help, or not feeling confident they can sell or market. Because a lot of service providers, a lot of online service providers, coaches, consultants, that sort of thing, they don't have a sales and marketing background, right? And so it feels very foreign to them. And because they're helpers by nature, they feel like, well, I just want to help. I don't want to sell. I don't want to, have to like talk about myself, right? Because we're so used to just like being there for the other person and creating space and listening and asking good questions. We're not used to like, hey, like, check out my program, buy it. It's just
Right.
very much foreign territory to us. So I think that's where a lot of the doubt comes from too.
Yeah, and I love like what you said about it's all about the clarity. So
Yeah.
it's true. Like what you're teaching in your program is that it a lot of the doubt, the confidence comes from not knowing in your head exactly what you've got because you're not clear. So what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to think of the words that I'm trying to say here is that it's like, you have this program, you have this stuff, and yet you go out, and if I meet you at a networking event and I
Yeah.
say, hey, Jennifer, I'm Regina. Oh, tell me a little bit about what you do. And then you go, well, I do,
Yep.
well, I have this program and this is what it teaches people with, I mean, and that's what a lot of people do and that's a instant confidence thing right there. When I meet somebody,
Yes.
especially when I'm out or even on video, virtual meetings, it's right away if they're confident about what they have to offer
Yeah.
because they can articulate it to right back at you and say, "Oh, my name's Regina. This is what I do. I have this program. Here's who I help. If you'd like some information about it, I'd be happy to share."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you come out confident from the gate, whereas if you don't have that clarity. So I'm hearing that the first real step of gaining this confidence is getting clear on what it is you do.
Yes, I believe that 100%. I really do. Yeah. And I used to be that person at the networking events, by the way. I used to be that person, and I had so many fears and doubts, and I knew it, right? I had enough emotional intelligence to know, like, okay, I need to work on this. And that, I think, is one of the things, and we don't have to go in this direction, but I think that's one of the biggest things that's missing from a lot of business programs, a lot of business coaching, and consulting, is the mindset piece, right? The like helping you feel clear and confident, because you can have the best strategy in the world and you can know exactly what to do in your business, but it's really about who are you being. And if you're showing up to networking events and you're just fumbling over your words and you're not really clear and you're not really able to express how you help and what you do, you've lost your potential client or your referral partner like immediately. And so that is, that's the missing piece, I think. And that's why, I think you and I are so big on mindset.
Yeah, and I was one of those people too. So I think
The
we've
truth
all
is
kind of
coming out.
I think we've all been there, done that. And here's the thing: is that I've seen people. I've belonged prior to this company here. I've owned companies for the past 20 years,
Mhm.
and so I belonged to the local chamber for over 20 years,
Yeah.
and went to a lot of networking events. And there were times when somebody said, "Oh, hey, Regina, nice to meet you. What do you do?" Well, I think
Mhm.
yeah, I do and it's like you trip over your words. And I remember back in the day, a long time ago, where I would just do that repeatedly
Yeah.
because I hadn't learned my lesson.
Yeah.
And then I learned and I was like, you know what? every single time you go to a meeting, you have no clue what you're saying. And this is ridiculous because they're looking at you going, yeah, okay, it's nice to meet you. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
And so my trick for me was, okay, get clear. So that
Yeah.
was number one, right? It was like, you know what do I do? And I literally wrote it out. I
Yeah.
wrote the whole thing out. Here's what I do.
Yeah.
And then I stood in front of the mirror and I said, oh, hey, I'm Regina. Here's what I do. Da, 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 da. And I'll tell you, doing that is one of the hardest things. If you lack any confidence, doing that is one of the hardest things you will ever do. But it's okay. It's only you in the room. It's only you in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
And so you get up there and you say it, look yourself in the eyes. And
Yes.
when you can look at yourself in the eyes and say, oh yeah, I'm Regina and here's what I do, da, 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 da. And, tell me a little bit more about you, before you go into any, hey, you want to hear more information? It was my thing was, hey, this is what I do. Tell me a little bit more about what you do. And, flip it over back, it's balls in your court now. And then, and then you have that organic conversation. It took me months to be able to look myself in the eye and do that.
Yeah, I know, and that's so beautiful, and I mean, you can definitely tell us, but I mean, that I bet was such a transformation for you. Like, once you can do that, like, oh my gosh, the difference in your clarity and your confidence, I bet was huge.
It was massive. And, the first first chamber event that I went to after I finally got it down.
Yeah.
And again, this was years ago.
Yeah.
When I finally got it down, I walked into that room, and not only did I walk into the room with more confidence, people came up to me because, I talk about energy a lot, and everything is energy. So people saw me come in the room and I'm walking with more confidence. I look like I have more confidence, and people are walking up saying, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. Who are you? What do you do? And I had no problem saying anything, because before, people would shy away because you see people who lack the confidence.
Yeah.
And the people who are confident kind of go, okay, you know what? We're just not going to go there. They don't look like they have a clue what they're doing. So we're just going to go over here. As soon as I got that down, more people just gravitated to me because that was the energy I was putting out.
There's your pull, right? There's your pull. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, I was attracting them in, and then with confidence, I could say, yeah, here's what I do.
Yep.
And it works so much better, not just because of the confidence, but because the whole demeanor of me and what it was that I did completely did a 180.
Yeah, absolutely.
So mindset, that confidence is so important. And I love how you have the mindset and work on that clarity. So if you were going to give somebody a piece of advice on getting started, what would you tell them to do?
Well, I mean, it's really the basics in business, right? I mean, this is the stuff we hear all the time, and I think we hear it so often, we just kind of like glaze over it and think, oh yeah, I'm good with that. But I mean, really, really knowing, who is that person that you're helping, right? Who are they? And I don't mean, what TV shows they watch and what kind of coffee they order from Starbucks. I don't mean that at all. I mean, like, on a deeper level, get in touch with not their demographics, but their psychographics. Like, who is that person and what are their fears? What's going to change their life? Like, what things are keeping them up at night that they're like, if that were gone in my life, everything would be different, right? So it's getting clear on who is your person, what's your program, what's the transformation that you're offering, what is your solution to the problem that you just identified. We want to get super clear on that, and it seems so basic, right? And then it's like your offer, like how are you helping, right? What's the thing? And again, like, I don't mean like, okay, I have 12 sessions and I have, this course, and no. How specifically are you helping? Like, I want to know, like, I'm going to give you 12 sessions so that we are meeting every single week to get you super clear on what it is you do in your business, who you help in your business, right? Or if this, if it's a different kind of business owner, like whatever it is, getting getting really deep into that and telling them exactly the transformation, right? Telling them exactly what, painting that picture for them. What is it going to look like once they're done working with you as compared to where they're at now, right? So it's really that. And then for me, like I teach clarity on like what are the things getting in your way? Like what are those mindset blocks? What are the things that are stopping you from taking a lot of action in your business, from showing up, from getting on camera, from, doing things like this, right? Going on live shows or podcasts or whatever. What's getting in your way? Because I don't want my clients to be the best kept secret, right? I don't want them to, have this amazing service that they offer and nobody knows about it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a result. It's what is the result that they're getting at the
Yes.
end of the day. I mean, nobody cares about, hey, I've got 12 sessions, I've got this, I've got that. They want to know, can you provide me the result that I'm looking for?
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
can, great. Tell me how we're doing it. Great. We got 12
Yeah.
sessions. We're meeting every week. However we're getting to the result. Yeah. Yeah. Great. That's the small details. I just
Right.
want to know you can provide the result that I'm looking for. Then heck, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. And so when you are confident about what you offer and you have a program and it's a result that people are looking for, and you get in front of your ideal client, that person who is looking for that exact result because you've looked at their demographics, psychographics, and looked at all of the stuff, and you get in front of that person, and then you confidently say, hey, I
Mhm.
actually have a program. You just told me all of the stuff that you were looking for. I actually have a program that provides that exact result. Would you be
Mhm.
interested in hearing more about it?
Yep.
If
Yep.
they say yes, you're no longer salesy. You're not a sleazy salesman type thing. They
Right.
said yes, absolutely. Please tell me what your program does
Yeah.
because that's exactly what I'm looking for. They
Yeah.
come to you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you nailed it on the head is we always have to ask permission, right? We can't just say like, "Oh, get great. I have this program that totally here, let me tell you all about it." No, what you did was you said, "Hey, I have this program that can help you. Would you like to hear more?" You're getting the buy-in, you're getting the permission, and that's where it now becomes you're pulling them in rather than pushing it on them.
Yeah, it just dawned on me because that's kind of like the premise of those DMs that come in.
Oh yeah.
It's the hey Jennifer, I see you're a coach. Da 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 da. I see you
Yep.
work in this space. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you do? They're just trying to do it all through text, and because our radar goes up when we see those
Yeah.
texts. I think they're better done live. I think it's better instead
Mhm.
of DMing people. Sure, can you get in front of thousands of people if you have a chat bot out there asking those questions? Because you
Yeah.
can schedule, you could create a chat bot
Yeah.
that goes out there, pulls your name in, and has
Yeah.
pre-programmed conversations and then pre-programmed responses based on what you say. It's not authentic. Way back at the beginning of this conversation, one of the words you use that I use often is authenticity.
Yeah.
You know, when you do that and you create some bot to speak for you, that's not authentically
No.
you. So yeah, that to me is kind of somewhere in the middle of that push pull. It's like you're not quite pushing me in the face. You're kind of sort of pulling, but you're not really being authentic either. So because it's not you.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't create a connection or a relationship, and yeah, I think it's definitely gonna fall flat on I don't know how those work at all. I don't know how anyone would ever respond yes to those, but there must be some people out there who do, otherwise they wouldn't do it, right?
Well, I know some, higher level coaches and consultants, they're making millions and millions
Right.
annually. I
That
know
makes
big,
sense. Yeah.
yeah, big name. So for them, it's name recognition.
Yeah.
So it's like they see the name, they get the chatbot. So I think it works better maybe for them than it does
Mhm.
for people who don't necessarily have that name recognition. And
Absolutely.
so, I get, I don't know, 10, 15 a week between Facebook and LinkedIn
Yeah.
on
I
the
know.
messengers. I get at least 10 to 15 per week. Hey, Regina, I see you're out in the coaching space. Tell me a little bit more about what you do. Okay, can you ask me? Can you answer me what's the end of this conversation? What is it that you'd like me to take a look at?
Yeah.
Because I do not have time to sit here and play back and forth with you. If you want to have a quick conversation because you're actually really interested, I'm happy to get on a 15-minute call with you. In 15 minutes, we're going to know we either have a connection or we don't have a connection.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time because there's more important things to do. We talk about that stuff that we want to get done, and, working in your core genius.
Yeah.
The people who don't necessarily know the salesy stuff and that kind of thing is you need to learn something. You don't need to learn everything because you can farm it out. You can hire somebody that can do that. Even if you're a one-person shop, you can hire somebody once, but you have to be clear. You have to have the clarity on what it is that you want before you can do that. So you need to learn something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We have to be business people, right? We have to, as much as we would just love to be, coaches or whatever, whatever your business is, as much as you would just love to sit in that zone of genius, the reality is you have to put it out there. You have to market it and you have to sell it. Or like I said, you just become a really well kept secret. But yeah, and it's really there. I don't feel like it's that hard to learn. You just have to know, like, okay, this is where I need to put some work in and get better at it. But and one thing that I'd love to just say really quick too is that the skills that you need in marketing and sales are very similar to the skills we learn as coaches, right? As coaches, we listen, right? We reflect, we ask really powerful questions. These are all skills of a really great salesperson as well.
That is a really, really good point. I love that because it's really true. And, if you make that connection, that actually is a little confidence builder right there. You all of a sudden make that connection and go, you know what? I already know how to do this.
Yes.
I just need to go do it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you do know it. Yeah, and you don't just know it. You're a master at it, right? So and the only reason that people don't do that again is because they're in their heads and they're blocking themselves by their limiting beliefs. And so so that is, I think, so important to know. It's like you have these amazing skills, just just go out and use them and listen and see how you can help. Just make offers to help people, because that is, that's what this is all about. You want to help people, and that's such a wonderful thing. So, get out there and make those sales and don't feel bad about it.
You heard her right here, folks. Just go do it.
Yes.
You want to help people, go help them.
Yeah.
And get out of your own way. So
Yes.
if you were gonna like give some, I don't know, do you have like, Jennifer's, 5 tips of wisdom, 5 wisdom pieces or something like that to impart upon our crowd here today, to maybe get them started if they're in that place where they're feeling stuck because they're like, they were raising their hand going, yeah, that's me, when we talked about the networking stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, she mentioned video, and yeah, no, I don't want to be in front of a camera because my gosh, and I don't have the confidence for that. Is there some quick tips that you might have?
Yeah, I love this question. So I'm going to speak into the mindset stuff, because I really do believe that this is the biggest part of business, right? I've heard statistics. It's like 90% of success in business is mindset. And so what I would suggest is, first of all, get in touch with what your thoughts are, right? Like, what are you thinking every single day? And the truth is we, our brain gives us 60,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are repetitive, right? And most of them are negative. So get in there, get quiet, notice what you're thinking. Take out a piece of paper and just brain dump. Start writing down every single thing that pops into your head, and start to notice the negative thought patterns, right? Like, what are the things that I'm consistently telling myself over and over again? And then once you do that and you're aware of the thoughts that are holding you back, what I want you to do then is I want you to question them. I want you to say, okay, is that actually true, right? So someone might have the thought, for example, I can't help. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be able to help my clients. I don't feel confident in that. Well, let's say, is that true? Is that really true that you can't help? Well, no, actually, I did help so and so, and I've really been helping a lot of my friends. And even if you're just straight out of the gate as a coach or service provider, right? You have helped people in the past, or you wouldn't be doing this. So question those thoughts once you notice them. And then what I want you to do next is shift them, right? Because if you can say, yeah, I have helped some people, then shift that thought from I can't help anyone to yes, I actually can help some people, and I'm every day getting better at it, right? Every day I'm working to get better at it, right? So then and then take that thought and let it fuel your confidence, right? That new thought that you just shifted to. Really feel into that and allow. I know, Regina, you love to talk about energy. Let that give you energy and then go out and take action, right? Take action. Put out that post you've been dying to put out because I know it's in your brain, it's right there, and you're like, but is it good enough? Is it perfect? Just do it. Put it out there and start making connections with people, right? From that place of confidence, from that place of belief in yourself, start to connect with people and do it in Regina, I swear, I'm loving this push-pull thing. Do it in a pulling sort of way, not a pushy way, right? Get yourself out there, get visible, start to take action, but don't do it in a pushy way. Do it in a way where you're out there just to meet people and serve and help people, right? Like that's what you do best. So don't hold back in helping people. Really, if you can give somebody a good tip or some advice, say, I haven't thought about this. Would you like to hear it? And offer that advice, right? So many of us like hold back. We're like, oh, we don't want to tell them too much because we want them to buy from us. We'll just give and give and give, and it will come back to you. So, so those are my tips. Like, really get in touch with the thoughts, question the negative ones, shift to positive ones, and then take action now that you're fueled with some positivity and some confidence.
You know what? We are so on the same page. It is scary.
I love it.
This has been a great conversation, and we're about out of time. So tell me, how do people get in touch with you if they wanted to reach out and say, you know what, I really need to talk to Jennifer? How would they get a hold of you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I am really active on Instagram. So you can go to J Jakobson Life Coach, and that's Jacobson with a K, not a C. You can go to my website, jenniferjakobsonlifecoaching.com. Those are probably the two main ways. But yeah, there's lots of different ways that you can connect with me. I've got lots of free things out there
If I
too.
type that in right, J Jakobson Life Coach?
It's actually Jakobson, S-E-N.
S-E-N.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll hide that.
Say O-B-S-E-N. You have it right under my face here.
Right? Right? You'd think I'd look up as I was typing it. You know what? We're going to make sure that all of Jennifer's contact information is underneath this video on all platforms. We are live streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube right now. So we will make sure that Jennifer's information is posted beneath each one of these. So if you want to chat with her and let her impart some of this amazing wisdom she has, and I just love her mindset pieces and how she goes into it and pulls things out and helps you get on the right path. I'm just thinking, if I knew you back when I had zero confidence, I'd be like, okay, how do I hire you? Because this is exactly what I want to get rid of. Because not only do you look like you're like fun to work with, you're so personable, and there's so many coaches out there that they're just in it. They're the pushers. We'll call them the pushers. I don't know if that sounds really wrong in a couple ways, but they are. They're the pushers. They're like, I just want your credit card.
Yeah,
and it's like, I've got you in here now, and if you get something from it, great. If you don't get something from it, great. Well, it was nice knowing you. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
And there's so many that are out there like that.
I know. I've fallen prey to them. So yes, be very, very careful. Yeah.
You are one of the genuine coaches out there that is actually out there to help people create a better business, a better life for themselves. So thank you for all that you do. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a fun conversation.
Yeah, this has been great, and we are going to have to continue this conversation offline because I think you and I should do some stuff together.
That was great, Regina.
All right, with that being said, thank you everybody who's joining us live and on the replay for this week's Coffee with Regina, and we will see you next time on Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.
Bye.